Hello, this is Rebecca again, and today I want to talk with you about writing thesis statements for effect essays. This is a short lesson with 3 simple topics in it. We're going to talk about how to write a thesis statement for an effect essay, how to write a conclusion sentence for an effect essay, and how to write the topic sentences for effect essay body paragraphs. Now, you may be thinking that you already know these because you learned them for cause essays, and you are exactly right. The basic principles are exactly the same, but seeing examples of specific sentence structures can strengthen your knowledge and ability. So hopefully, most of this lesson will be a review and a strengthening tool for you. This is the topic that we will use for our examples in this lesson. We're going to be talking about the effects of exploiting nature. And to exploit means to use something in a damaging way. So to use something in a way that is harmful to that thing. So what are the effects of human beings using nature in a bad way? And the 2 subtopics that we'll use for our examples are the extinction of animal species. This is one effect of us using nature badly. And our other subtopic is loss of forests, deforestation. So these are our 2 subtopics. They will be one for body paragraph 1 and one for body paragraph 2. And then this is our topic for the overall essay. So first, let's look at writing the thesis statement for an effect essay. It follows all the same rules as a thesis statement for a cause essay. The thesis statement is a direct response to the essay question. It is the last sentence of the introduction. And it gives 3 pieces of information to your reader. And I'm sure you know what these are by now. But let's check. 1, 2, 3. Can you fill those in? The blank of essay, the blank of the essay, and the 2 blank for the body paragraphs. Hopefully, this is what you filled in, either writing them down or in your mind. The type of essay, in this case, we're looking at effects. The topic of the essay, in this case, it's about exploitation of nature. And the 2 subtopics. We have animal extinction and deforestation. So let's look at one type of thesis statement where the essay topic and the subtopics are linked with a cause-effect verb. And if you get out your pencil and paper and write down the examples as we go through them, this will help you remember them. It will strengthen your memory because the act of writing helps solidify your knowledge. So we're going to look at this structure here, which is very similar to what is in your book on page 109, if you want to look there as well. We're going to see the essay topic as the subject. We'll see some optional adverb that relates to the main verb, which is a cause and effect verb. And then the 2 subtopics, which are the object of the sentence. So let's look at one example. Exploiting nature. This is our essay topic, and here it's in gerund form because we're using that verb with the ing, turns it into a noun. Exploiting nature, mainly or chiefly, you can use synonyms, leads to or causes the extinction of animal species and the loss of forests. So here we have, with the and, we have our two subtopics. And they both are noun phrases. Exploiting nature leads to the extinction of animal species and the loss of forests. This adverb is optional. You can leave it in or take it out. Exploiting nature causes the extinction of animal species and the loss of forests. Let's look at another example. Humans' exploitation of nature. So now we're using a noun phrase instead of a gerund phrase. Clearly brings about animal species becoming extinct and forests being lost. Obviously, these adverbs, you can use any one. They're all synonyms. And the same with this. You could use any of these verbs. Lead to, cause, bring about, give rise to. They all have the same meaning. And here I've written our subtopics as gerund clauses. Animal species becoming extinct and forests being lost. So we could use a noun phrase form, or we could use a gerund phrase form. But notice that if I use a gerund for one, I also use a gerund for the other. I want the two subtopics to have the same grammar structure. Here's one that I wrote. I didn't quite write the whole thing for you, but I'd like you to look at the other examples and pause the video for a minute if you need to, and think about how you can fill in that sentence. Okay, let me show you what the answer is. I hope you've taken a moment to try to do it yourself. Nature exploitation, so I just made a slightly different phrase, often, it's another adverb, leads to animal extinction and deforestation. This is the simplest way to write this form. We had these three different ways. There's a basic structure here, but there's a lot of flexibility in how you choose to write it within that structure. Let's look at another way. In this style, we want to show that there are many effects of something, but we want to focus on just two of them. You may remember that we had this same style for the causes essay as well. Don't forget to take some notes. So in this case, we have an adjective. We have an adjective and a synonym of effect, so an adjective and a noun together. Then we have our essay topic and our main verb and our two subtopics. So let's look at the sentence. Among the adverse, negative, dramatic effects, can you predict what will come next? Now that we have this beginning, you should have some feeling for what will come next. Among the negative consequences of exploiting nature are the extinction of animal species and the loss of forests. By using this phrase, among the effects, that gives us the idea that there are more effects than just these two, but we are focusing on just two of them. Here's another way to do it, and you'll see that this structure has a dependent clause and a main clause. So this is the main part of our sentence, and we have a dependent clause that starts with although or even though. So with that clue, you might even be able to guess what comes next in the sentence. See if you can predict as I go through them. Although there are, now we need a quantifier, something that says more than one. Although there are many effects of exploiting nature, comma, right? This comma connects our dependent clause with our main clause. The extinction of animal species and the loss of forests are the most important two, are the most serious ones. So this is the main part of the sentence, and this is the dependent clause. And this is showing that we recognize there are many effects of this thing, but these two are the most important. This may look like a long and complex sentence, but if you remember the order of the pieces and think about putting them together logically, you can write a sentence like this easily. Here's a little practice for you. Can you unjumble this thesis statement? It's on the same topic. We have our words exploitation, extinction, animal, deforestation, nature, consequences, several. Use the capitalization and punctuation to help you. So we have this word although, it has a capital A. That's the beginning of the sentence. We have a comma here, and we have the period for the end of the sentence. So perhaps pause the video. You may want to write down all the words. You can even go back and look at the sentences on the previous screen if you haven't written them down, and see if you can write the full sentence yourself. Okay, let's take a look. Although there are several consequences of nature exploitation, comma, animal extinction and deforestation are two crucial ones. So I hope you see how this structure flows, and it can be a little bit flexible in the actual words that are used. Okay, let's go on and look at writing the concluding sentence for an effect essay. We know that a concluding sentence will restate the thesis statement with all the required information. We know that it will start with a conclusion transition phrase like to summarize, in conclusion, all in all. And we know that for the concluding sentence, it's possible to put the subtopics before the essay topic to kind of flip the order of the sentence, and that could make it easier to write. So if we have this thesis statement, a very simple one, the exploitation of nature clearly leads to animal extinction and forest loss. So can you, with your pen and paper, write the matching concluding sentence? We have a phrase here with a comma. It could be several possibilities. And I will give you a hint that because we are changing the order of the subtopics and essay topic, that we will need to use a passive verb. So think about that as your passive form. Pause the video if you need to finish. And now we'll go on and look at the sentence. I used to conclude, but you could say in summary, in conclusion, to summarize, anything like that. Animal extinction and deforestation are caused by, there's our passive form of the verb, the exploitation of nature. So we've taken the thesis statement and we've turned it around a little bit. And finally, our third topic is looking at writing the topic sentences for effect essay body paragraphs. And again, you can look at the pages in this book to see the examples again. Topic sentences inform the reader what the paragraph will be about. They are the first sentence of each body paragraph. They include the essay topic, the type of essay, and one subtopic. So it has a little less information than the thesis statement. And they also usually include a phrase to indicate if it is the first or the second body paragraph. So let's look at a few different styles of writing these. In the first type, the body paragraph phrase is followed by a comma. The essay topic is the subject, and one subtopic is the object. And they are linked with a cause-effect verb. So we have our indicator of the body number, essay topic, main verb, one subtopic, and here we have an optional adverb to go with that main verb. So let's look at our sample. To start with, to begin with, firstly, these can all indicate the first body. Secondly, this can indicate the second. Exploiting nature, use a gerund phrase. The exploitation of nature, use a noun phrase. Both of those are good forms for the subject of the sentence. An adverb to describe the cause-effect verb. For this sentence type, we're just going to look at the word causes, and this is the only one we want to use here. Animal species to become extinct. So let's read the whole sentence. First, exploiting nature mainly causes animal species to become extinct. This is a very useful structure, this cause something to do something. Cause someone to do something, someone or something here. And we can only do that with this verb causes, generally. So you can always use this style, causes something to do something. The other way that we could do this is we could use lots of other verb forms, causes, leads to, results in, etc. And then we could have a normal object phrase, the extinction of animal species, losing forests. So this one does not have this extra verb in there. Secondly, the exploitation of nature basically leads to losing forests. So both of these styles use a cause-effect main verb, and they start with a transition phrase with a comma. The next type, the body paragraph phrase, is part of the sentence. There's no comma in there. The subject is a synonym of the noun affect, and the main verb is to be. So let's look at our structure here. We have an indicator for the body. We have a noun, that's our subject. We have a main verb, and we have a subtopic. And maybe you could guess what this word is in here. The first, the main, and then for the second body, you might use the second or another. Effect, consequence, result. Do you know the next word? Of. And then we have the essay topic, exploiting nature. You could write this in several different ways. Gerund phrase, noun phrase. Is, and your subtopic, animal extinction. The first effect of exploiting nature is animal extinction. Very simple sentence. And this will always be is, it will always be singular because we're only talking about one effect. The second result of exploiting nature is deforestation. Here are some other phrases that can be used. The second result of exploiting nature is said to be deforestation. And you can use these phrases if you are comfortable with them, if you can remember how they're used. But if it's difficult, just use the word is and it's fine. A third type of topic sentence, the body paragraph phrase, again, is followed by a comma. The subject is the essay topic. And these use an adjective noun or adverb verb combination. In this case, these adjectives and adverbs can't be left out. They must be used. My little table here looks a little more complicated, but it's not. So let's look at, to start, exploiting nature, and we're going to use our main verb as has a negative effect on animal species. So we can try to think of this as a whole phrase with the has, and then we have an adjective noun. Has a negative effect on animal species. The other way is our main verb is affects. And in this case, we're going to use this adverb verb combination. Secondly, exploiting nature adversely affects forests. Negatively affects forests. So this style uses has plus an adjective and noun, and this style uses an adverb and a verb, and the verb is affect. This is the only verb that you can use here. So here's two topic sentences for you. Can you unjumble them using the capitalization and the punctuation to help you? In this first one, we have a to, and there's a with a comma, and then there's a species is the last word. And in this one, the first word is the last word is forests. Pause the video if you want to try to work it out yourself. The first one here, to begin with, exploiting nature leads to the extinction of animal species. And the second one. The second main consequence of exploiting nature is the loss of forests. So I hope you can see that writing thesis statements and topic sentences and the concluding sentence for these essays follows the same style and structure as you used for cause essays, and I hope that reviewing these sentence structures helps to make them easier for you. Don't forget that there are follow-up activities available for each week's videos, and doing this extra practice can help solidify the knowledge that you gain from these lessons. So you can find them in Nineveh when the videos in the same place that the videos are, or if you can't find them, ask your writing teacher and they will show them to you.